Yo, what's good, fellas? Hey, I came across this on the news, and it caught my attention, so I figured I'd make a little video about it. But apparently, the employees of the Ford factories are calling for the CEOs and upper management to stop building police vehicles. All right, we know that's not gonna happen. All right. That's just on face value. I don't really want to go too much into that, but I want to dig deeper into it, and I want to equate this with one of the sentiments that I put in a lot of my videos, stressing the fact that these wars that have been fought, World War I, World War II, Vietnam, okay, the Korean Wars, all right, they're not fought over religion. They're not fought over putting democracy in those countries because they're oppressed. Okay? That may be part of it, but that's the story that they give you. But what they don't tell you is that, these wars are sparked by the central banks and the international bankers because they want to put the central banks in those countries. Either that or they want to plunder the resources for, their own good. And they use the American military, the United States military, to do this stuff. There's a reason why the United States has, they have military bases all over the world, more than any other country, by far. All right? But I just want to go a little bit into this because if you didn't know, Henry Ford was actually involved in signing off building the trucks that the Nazis were driving. All right. So, when you sit here and you think about all these Nazis and, Trump was a Nazi, white supremacists are Nazis, neo-Nazis, whatever. And, what I'm saying? First thing that comes to mind is, maybe a KKK member or like a white nationalist or something like that. But the true Nazis, the true people who despise you, are, headed up by some of the biggest corporations in America, such as, Henry Ford and, trying to think, I'm not sure of the names of some of these guys that came over here and influenced the CIA, not to mention the guys who started NASA. Okay, those are all Nazis, man. Those are all Nazi scientists. But Ford himself, he was not necessarily a Nazi. He wasn't, I don't believe, of German bloodline, but he was he was the one building those trucks. All right. Standard Oil, owned by the Rockefellers. All right, they had a base in Switzerland, an airport in Switzerland where warplanes from both sides would fly in and refuel. All right. So that's what I'm tell you. The Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, all of these families that are running these privately owned banks, they're the ones who start these wars. They're the ones who profit off of these wars, okay? Just like in Auschwitz, if you ever look at the pictures of Auschwitz, okay, that was an American company that built those railroad tracks. And it even goes down to the we can even get into the concentration camp labor, okay? They were making products that were sold by the United Kingdom and the United States, okay? So, I also want to go a little bit further into that, man. And this right here, this is a very good video, man. I suggest everybody watch it. It's kind of long and it's kind of boring. It's almost like one of those movies that they roll into the history class whenever the teacher don't want to teach nothing. He said, "We just gonna watch a video today." All right. But this is, what I'm saying, explaining behind the scenes what really goes down. All right. This gives the names and everything of the companies that, that built Germany up to what they are. You got to understand, Germany was nothing before Hitler. All right. And, Hitler was 25% a Jew himself. He was a Rothschild. He was of Rothschild blood. This is why whenever World War II popped off, the first place that he destroyed was Austria, because that's where all his birth records and stuff was at. So the United Kingdom, United States, well, I want to say the United Kingdom, using the United States, built up Germany's economy. All right, they built highways. You know, all that stuff was built off of loans given to the Nazis. Okay, they built them up on purpose just to knock them down. All right, just to get their scientists. Okay, just to put their own people, the Jewish, the Caucasian Jews, you know, in these concentration camps, just so they could get the reparations afterwards. All right, because the Jews own the banks. It's like people always say, how come we don't get reparations from slavery, but they get reparations from the Holocaust? Because they own the banks, man. Simple as that. But this video here, it goes, I mean, it's gonna tell you a lot. You know, it's a long video. It's a 3-hour long video, but I'm gonna just go over a little snippet of it right here.
Rich men have been hiring thugs to do their dirty work, especially to frighten people, since human civilization began. What people have to try to appreciate is that Nazism, in reality, was simply the first time in human history that the rich had enough wealth to hire an entire country of thugs to do their dirty work. Some of the most emotive images in world history are those of the Nazi war machine swooping across the Low Countries to begin their occupation of France. And people have always assumed that the trucks used for the miles-long troop convoys must have been German trucks. But if anyone at that time had taken the trouble to lift up the cowling and look at the engine, they would have found these were actually Ford trucks, which had been built with personal permission from Henry Ford, who was sitting in his office 4,000 miles away in Dearborn, Michigan, a service for which he was given the Grand Cross of the Eagle, the highest honor the Nazis ever bestowed on a civilian.
Ford sued the U.S. Army, the U.S. government in the 50s.
So yeah, y'all check that video out, man. It's kind of boring, but that'll just give you a little bit of context. All right, so where you can get kind of the key players behind what goes on, man. You know, they talked about, you know, saying some of the secret societies, the Skull and Bones. All right, some people say, oh, well, I don't know if I believe that. Everybody been saying that, George Bush, da-da-da-da. But like I said, did you know that the man who started the NFL was a Skull and Bones member, okay? These people have their lives scripted out for them, man. They have their lives scripted out for them, and they're born to do some of the things that they do. And in that video, you know, I'm not sure if it references Operation 40, but it's already on record that the documents are disclosed now, okay? That, you know what I'm saying, George H. Bush was involved in assassinating John F. Kennedy under an operation called Operation 40. All right, and for those of you that don't know, George Bush Sr. was executed, all right? Just like John McCain, okay? Those people didn't just fall over and croak, man, they was executed. So, yeah, man, like I said, Henry Ford got a medal from the Nazis. So, I mean, anybody that tries to debate that with you, argue that with you, you know what I'm saying, drop that on their head and just be like, all right, you can Google the picture, shit, pull a picture up for them. You know, that's the problem about it. All these people want change and stuff, but they're not willing to dig deep enough to realize where the problem lies at. You can't just say the cops are racist, that's our problem. We can't get loans, that's our problem. We can't get jobs because we felons, that's our problem. All right, and some of that stuff can get debunked because, like I said, if you didn't know, it's another thing, one of the problems I have with people talking about, you know, if you're a felon, you can't get a job. Okay, you know that there's plenty of factories in every city, every state that get tax breaks from the government due to the fact that they're employing, you know what I'm saying, ex-cons, people that are felons and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They get tax breaks for stuff like that. So they're not, unless you have, you know what I'm saying, a real serious crime, personal crime, you know what I'm saying? or stealing, you know. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have that big of a problem finding a job, man. I mean, people act like you can just get an office desk job or something like that, you know what I'm saying, based on no criteria, based on, you know what I'm saying, just not being a felon, man. There's a lot of people out here working hard, working these factories and stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, that's not where your mind should be. You should be focused on trying to build your own stuff up. But first of all, it's not in the cards for everybody. And second of all, you know, until that time comes where you figure out what you want to do and how you can do it, you know, ain't nothing wrong with making money and providing, okay? So if that's what you got to do, ain't no shame in doing that, man. If you got to flip burgers, man, ain't no shame in doing that because, you know, if you out here living with no light, you out here doing what you can to make ends meet, to make money. All right, that's how you end up in situations where the police come and get involved, okay? The police are nothing but tax collectors. They're nothing but tax collectors, man. So you gotta think about it. If you're not working, you're not on in the system, you paying taxes and stuff. All right, they're gonna look at it and say, well, man, this dude ain't got no job. This, you know what I'm saying? He's not making any money for us on our taxes. He's making his money on the streets. When you're doing that, you make yourself more useful in prison than on the streets, because in prison, they can get the labor out of you. You don't have no choice, okay? So you got to understand that. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily that they racist. Some of them are racist, yes. Some of them are assholes, yes. Some of them were bullies and now they got badges. So now they just wield that power, okay? But you got to understand, if you moving right, it really shouldn't be a problem, man. It really should not be a problem. It's like a lot of these cases, you like these Freddie Grays, you know what I'm saying, selling cigarettes, you know, selling CDs. All right, these people get caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time because they're not moving with the countenance that they should. Okay, but I just want y'all to be vigilant and just try to do some research on who your enemy really is, man. That's what the whole point of it is. It's like like I said, it's wolves in sheep's clothing out here, man. It's a lot of times you hunting after the wolf, you want the wolf, but you're rolling with a fox to get the wolf, and the fox works for the wolf. Okay? At the end of the day, they both want blood. The only thing about it is these people, these leftists and stuff like that, and the Republicans, they not a whole lot better. All right? But at least they're not putting you out there in harm's way. All right? These leftists and these liberals, man, they setting you up, and they setting themselves up too. All right? So this whole defund the police thing, it's gotten way out of hand. It's a joke. It's never gonna happen. You know, they might cut budgets here and there, but look what happened in New York. They cut $1 billion from their police force, and it has spikes in crime. And you know, damn near 100 people got shot over the weekend, or it might have been the weekend before or something like that. The shootings and stuff, every category of crime is up. Okay, so just remember that when y'all talking about y'all want Cuomo to be your president. And, you know, he's been groomed to be the president anyway. That's who they want to be president next on the Democratic ticket. If y'all didn't know. Maybe even try to slide him in there this year. But, yeah, I'll do some more on that too, man. But I'm getting a little carried away, so I'm going to just wrap this one up here, brothers. Peace.